Five Nights at Freddy's, that's where you wanna be, don't you forget it. 'Cause I don't know what you say, Five Nights at Freddy's. Hey everyone, Reviews here, and welcome to my review of the Endo series, Bonnie and Freddy from Jazwares. I've been super hyped for these figures. These are the swappable armor plate versions, so it's really cool. These, I think, are like 6-inch scale, so yes, found them at Target. They're cool. They have glowing eyes. You can do all the cool articulation stuff. I was pretty happy with the Jazwares toy series, so let's see what the Endo has in store for us. And I'm actually going to start off with Endo Bonnie, because he looks a little more interesting to me. I love how 2014 this box feels, right at home with all your other early FNAF merch. One set, power left 93%, it shows your usage, the sprites from the original game texture, font, that is all fantastic. I kind of miss this kind of vibe to FNAF merch. Obviously, you have Freddy up there in the corner. Freddy again, same image, just all Freddy everywhere. Whole bunch of Freddys. Rest of the series, classic Freddy, classic Bonnie, classic Cheetah, classic Foxy. Doesn't show the withereds, I guess. So you have your withered here, have your endoskeleton, and more Freddy. So let's get this bad puppy open. Even though there's no Sparky the dog. Okay, here we go, out of the box, and you can see the package. It also comes with an instruction booklet showing how you can do the transformation. Nothing on the other side. Yes, this is how it's folded. That is hilarious. So I think, yeah, this is like import style tray. No need for, yeah, there's no need for any ties. That is such a, oh wow, okay. Well, they all fell out, but that doesn't matter, because let's take a look at Mr. Endoskeleton over here. So here we have, oh, mouth opens and closes. That's really nice. Does his head move? It doesn't move. That's a little unfortunate. No, wait, is there really no head movement? Wow, that's a surprise. Okay, so arms are on swivel hinges and ratchets. Oh, that's flexible. I might have to take, ooh, I don't like that. Might have to take a hairdryer to some of this. So that's, oh, okay, that feels really weird and awkward. Let's see, does this one, yep, this one moves. Ratchet joints. Foot is on a ball joint, and that moves. Oh, that is tight in there. I'm pretty sure that is another ratchet joint, but I'm really going to have to heat up this endoskeleton, so I'll do that real quick. Also, drop-down hinges. Look at these drop-downs. Jazwares loves themselves a drop-down hip. So I recommend heating these guys up before you start moving any of the joints. Once you unstick them due to the paint, they just move really nice ratchet joints, which is quite nice. So the Endo is just a funny little guy, but it's a shame about the lack of head articulation. So let's get that armor on him. Starting off with Bonnie. And almost done. All we gotta do is put his, oh wait, the head, we gotta split up that head part using those needles and just, wow, this thing has been like a pain to split apart. I mean, it makes sense because they don't want it coming, ugh. Hopefully that plastic will not break, but that should give you an idea as to how long this has been taking. Oh my gosh. It's Bonnie! Look at him. He looks fantastic. I wish he came with his guitar, though. That's unfortunate. However, he looks pretty darn nice. Let me just readjust the camera, move the withered parts over there, not roll back into place. Look at him. He looks fantastic. Unfortunately, his head does not move, but his arms move. He has just less articulation because obviously the armor is getting in the way, but he looks fantastic. I didn't mention this, but yes, his endoskeleton does have speckled detail, but yeah, obviously you have your ball joint at the waist, giving him waist articulation, and you know, those drop down hips always help, but he looks great. But again, no head movement. That is very unfortunate. But his mouth does open, which is fantastic. I will say, heat up the feet and ball joints. This hand works fine. It moves. This hand, completely stuck. I need to heat it up first. So when you open up these figures, have a hairdryer on hand. Please, it'll save you a lot in the long run. Okay, let's swap over from normal Bonnie to withered Bonnie and see just how awesome he looks. Hold on, that doesn't look very right. Pop. Pop. Ah, much better. So here we have withered Bonnie, and I did learn something after tugging a little bit harder on the head, and he does in fact have a full 360 head swivel. So ignore my previous comment about him not having any head articulation. He does, though there is something else wrong with this figure. My secondary torso piece for Bonnie doesn't come detailed. You can see that all the other parts have this kind of dry brushing on them to give them all that extra withered look, but his diaper is just the plain purple plastic. That's the same as the other one from the set. That is very unfortunate, in my opinion, and is a little disappointing, but it's not too big of a deal. It's not a big part, it's a smaller part, and I kind of don't necessarily notice, and I could always add it with a Sharpie. Another thing, this needs a lot of heating up, just to move, because the paint was like completely stuck on the joint. That sucked, but that's okay. I guess it kind of works. It could use a lot more paint on this part, but it works, I guess. His bow is very cleanly painted, and I love how they did the withering. It looks really good, and overall, he is really sick looking. He is kind of red behind the eye parts, and dang, it just looks cool. This is 100% withered Bonnie, and he looks fantastic. Alright, move over, Bonnie, because it's time for Freddy. Again, you get a pair of instruction booklets, or just an instruction booklet for this figure. So let's take him out of the tray. I'm going to assume that the endoskeleton is completely identical. Yeah, he is completely identical. Is the head? Nope, this head moves perfectly smoothly, and this one doesn't have the eyes that come out. The ball joints are all working nice and well on this one. I don't know why my Bonnie has so many issues compared to this Freddy. Like, wow, this endoskeleton is... Oop, well, maybe not that. Nope, that joint's working just fine. I have no idea why Bonnie was so much tighter out of the box. I don't know. Anyway, he has different speckliness to him. Bonnie's was bigger. This one's like smaller, rust kind of... You can see the difference in the head here. The speckles are a little smaller on Freddy, which is pretty cool, pretty neat. So let's get this good old Freddy boy in some armor. Okie dokie. Oh no, my tripod. Oh, my poor tripod ball joints are dying on me. Okay, we have Freddy. Are you ready for Freddy? Oh, what? Sorry about that. My tripod genuinely is having some issues right now. Okay, so, Freddy. I also forgot to mention thigh swivel. There's a thigh swivel. Okay. Freddy looks great. He is accurate, and if you've ever seen the original Funko Freddy action figure, he had upper teeth. Freddy's not supposed to have upper teeth. So, you have your lower jaw. That face sculpt is, that is Freddy. There's nothing else I can say. It's Freddy. Dang, and he looks good. Just all the nice Freddiness. Oh, he looks so good. I will mention he's missing a little bit of paint on his eyebrow. That sucks. But other than that, this armor version of Freddy looks pretty good. Again, hands still stuck by paint, but they're still the ball joints, so, ball joints are good. Articulation, basically same as Bonnie. So, he looks pretty solid, pretty nice. And next to withered Bonnie. Yeah, I mean, this feels extremely cursed, but you can do it. Blam! Withered Freddy! Okay, this guy, he has my favorite sculpt of all of them. Now, I'm slightly biased. I've always liked Withered Freddy's design, but he just looks, like, perfect. That it's like the game model in front of me, which is great job, Jazwares. Okay, so he has a lot of withering, like physical withering detail here, back here, a little bit of scratchy here. He actually has paint on the crotch area here. Of course, very nice withered detail on his arms and on his legs. And some more paint here, but his feet are looking a little orange because they're kind of hollow and the light is changing their color scheme. Other than that, though, I mean, same articulation as normal Freddy, but he just looks fantastic. So, I think that this guy looks really good, and if you put him next to Withered Bonnie, he also, let's put him right back here. There we go. We can see that these guys look super cool together. I cannot wait for the other two to come out. Some people have them already, but I'm pretty sure they're not actually officially out yet. Other than that, all of the paint scratching, all the little details, these guys look fantastic. But there's one thing that I have neglected to mention. Eyes. Yes, their eyes glow in the dark just like the 4-inch figures, and they glow really freaking well and look incredibly spooky. And because of the shape of their mouths, you can just tell who these characters are just from the glow-in-the-dark eyes, which is a crazy cool effect. I friggin' love it, and even though you might not be seeing too much, when you do see their eyes, you're like, oh, it's eyes. So that is pretty crazy. Okie dokie, size comparison time. Bam! Wabum-ba-bwam! Toy Freddy and Toy Bonnie, they're a little bit shorter. That's because they are at a smaller scale. Now, I'm gonna mention one thing about the scale. You might be thinking, okay, these are 6-inch figures, so they're at a 6-inch scale. But no, last time I checked, the main animatronics are supposed to be like 7 feet tall. So they're actually a little undersized. However, they still would look great next to a lot of other figures. And here we have him next to Moon, who I completely didn't realize is missing an arm. I'll find where that went later. And Jack Specific Green Lantern Silver. And finally, we have the Mafex Daredevil and the Jazwares The Mangle. Overall, they actually look pretty good with the Mangle, given that even though he's in a different scale, you know, it fits because Mangle's a mangle of parts, so, you know, semantics. Overall, these are two really good figures. The swaps allow you to have multiple figures for the price of one. Granted, if you want one of each figure, like one Freddy and one Withered Freddy, you're gonna have to buy both for an even greater cost, meaning it's a little bit better for people who have less to spend, but a little bit worse for people who want to have a full collection. So you'll just have all these parts just laying around. Otherwise, it's pretty good, and you could just use the containers for storage if you want to keep the boxes. However, still mildly annoying. On the flip side, these are still some really solid action figures. Yes, articulation is a bit limited, but they look great. And if you want a mostly accurate or very customizable version of the characters from the games, this is your pick. Do not go for Funko. Stick with Jazwares, because this quality blows Funko out of the water. Just remember, you're going to have to heat them up, because the paint's a bit of an issue. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys next time. And I don't know what I'll be reviewing next time, so you know what? I'll just see you guys. Okay, bye. Have a great day. Bye.